There's a lot of buzz coming from NFL scouts on the road, and it might be time to unveil some dueling mocks to help sort things out. I'm feeling a rough draft in the air in just 161 days until the NFL draft. Muench, you good?
I'm good, man.
Roll that beat, Tucker. Just a reminder, we're back every Saturday night. Live show this week, Texas, Georgia. Remember the Texas-Georgia game last year? Was that our first ever live show?
I always thought it was the A&M LSU game, but I guess not, right?
I did too. This is the McShay Show, presented by FanDuel, and college football Saturdays are heating up. Whether you're in for the early kick or the late night action, FanDuel lets you bet your way with the same game parlays, live betting, game props, and more. And Missouri, get excited because FanDuel is coming your way on December 1st. Download the app or head to FanDuel.com/McShay and make every Saturday count. Must be 21 and older and present in select states, or 18 and older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. It was one of them because I remember it was a whole Conor Nevins, our executive producer, just sent a text. He chimed in with a great little nugget. Let me share this with everybody before we get started. He had a great little nugget on Georgia. He said last year Georgia had 11 tackles for loss and 7 sacks in the Texas game. So far this year, just 35 tackles for loss and 11 sacks on the season. Interesting. There's something to get you warmed up.
That's what we've been seeing.
Yep, we've got that primetime break-in and full recap show on Saturday night, and the McShay Report is out tomorrow. Special one. I'll tell you a little bit later in the show what's going on in the McShay Report, but you're not going to want to miss that one. You can Google it, subscribe. Google the McShay Show, subscribe. Premium is there if you want it. If you're in the market of just getting all the free stuff, that's fine too. Do what you got to do. We got a fun show today. I've been told by my daughter Alaire, who's 9 years old, that she heard me drop the F-bomb the other day and was not a fan.
Uh-oh.
So I'm going to try to keep my language in check today, but I can't make any promises. I think more restrictions have to be put on my daughter's iPad is the real problem.
You can get away with a lot, but not with the daughter won't let you get away with it.
Tucker was on before you jumped on. She FaceTimed me. He's like, Dad, don't swear. I was like, okay, yes, ma'am. She's the boss around here.
Come on, for years I've wanted to swear and I couldn't swear.
I know.
Finally,
right?
I get to swear.
And now I got a daughter old enough to check out some of my clips. Okay. I gave some buzz last week, and I'm still getting some backlash, and there's all sorts of forums, and I got people texting me from Miami about sellers in South Carolina. What are you doing? And, and all sorts of things. I actually had a general manager at the college level call me last night. Wanted to talk through some stuff. Nothing I said was wrong, but wanted to make sure it wasn't let's just say the beginning of a snowball effect for the next 5 months leading up to the draft. Anyway.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. It was interesting. One of the big takeaways from one of the conversations I had, and I touched on this last week, there's a lot of different opinions on this edge class. I think for Rueben Bain from Miami is considered by a lot of people as edge one, if you will. Keldric Faulk from Auburn has been up there, right? Both, regardless of who you're talking to, some like him more, some like him less. Rueben Bain's a little bit more of a polarizing prospect than maybe people think. The lack of sack production, does it translate to the NFL? Will he be, and one scout I talked to was interesting. He was like, if you're looking for a pass rusher, Messidor's the better guy. I think the sack production is going to translate to the NFL, and it's not going to be double digits every year for Bain. And Messidor might be a better. And if you want to give me the argument that he's getting too much attention, double teams, all that, I'm here to tell you, I'm going against the grain on that. I don't see that. Yeah, he's getting chipped and doing stuff that you always do for a good edge player, but he's not getting flat out double teamed like we saw maybe with like the Bosa brothers at times and other great pass rushers. So that was one argument that was interesting. I also mentioned this last week. David Bailey, best pure pass rusher. I think we all agree. Best pure pass rusher. Now, he's not the biggest. He's not the strongest. But there are going to be some teams that view Bailey from Texas Tech as a higher rated prospect for what they're looking for because of that. And I also told you R. Mason Thomas. Don't count him out of the first round. Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Obviously, the bye week, I think it was the bye week last week, right? And he had the hamstring injury. We'll see how that progresses, but the tape is the tape. It's out there. He is what he is. No matter how this season finishes, we know what he is. He's put that on tape this year. A couple other things were interesting, though, with that. One scout I talked to said not as big a fan of Cassius Howell from Texas A&M in terms of his NFL projection. Seen this really like monstrous rise this season. Again, I favor Bailey. I favor R. Mason Thomas over Cassius Howell, who seems to be in the top 15, top 20, depending on where you're reading.
Those are all similar frame guys who are going to play probably outside linebacker or three-man front kind of. That's what you're thinking.
Yeah, but
not necessarily, but maybe.
No, I agree. So that was interesting. I touched on the Kenyon Sadiq thing. I think it was on Saturday night.
Yeah.
And I didn't do it in our rough draft show last week. I think it's a foregone conclusion. I think people have the impression it's a foregone conclusion that he's tight end one. He's a top 20 pick. I'm telling you, there's reports coming out of Oregon that are not favorable. And scouts that are going in there and seeing maybe he's not practicing today. Maybe he's not playing. Remember Kyle Pitts?
Yeah.
He's not Kyle Pitts level talent. Remember what Kyle Pitts did at the combine? This guy's
everyone remembers what Kyle Pitts. Yeah. I mean, he's a unicorn.
Right?
I can't believe I brought that word up in front of you.
And not black unicorn, my favorite nickname in college football.
There we go.
Well, by the way, there's more to that story. I'm digging deep on that.
I know.
Yeah, we'll get to it later.
I think we might have a whole rough draft on the black unicorn, who I don't even know if he's eligible, but we'll see.
He is now. Okay, but Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end for Oregon, he's going to be a workout warrior. He's going to have a huge combine. It's not going to be the level of Kyle Pitts, right? But it's going to be something that blows the kind of the doors off, and everyone's going to be reporting on it. And what a great blocker, and he's tough, and he's all these things, and he is a great blocker, and he is a great athlete. But I mentioned it on the show the other night, but I think it's important to mention here on Rough Draft, our flagship draft show during the college football season. They're disappointed with Sadiq. His route running has not evolved. He's not separating and getting open. And when I say they, I'm saying NFL scouts. There are people in the Oregon building, I'm told, that are frustrated. While he is a great blocker and he looks like this tough guy and effort and program type guy on the field on Saturdays, the contradiction is maybe the effort was a little bit better when he was tight end 2 last year. Interesting, right?
Interesting, because it's a good tight end group, by the way. There's not a lot of room for error there.
Right. And so does that bring him back to the pack a little bit as we get closer and scouts come back to their scouting, their college directors, and their college directors report up to the general managers, and they start to hear these sorts of things? Will we start to see that ranking fall a little bit? And I don't want that for him. I'm just saying these are some of the things I'm hearing. You know, a player that's getting a little bit of buzz. I know he wasn't your favorite last year, and I'll be interested to see when we go back to the tape. I know we haven't spent a lot of time. Blake Miller, the offensive tackle, Clemson.
Really?
One person I talked to really loves Blake Miller, offensive tackle.
Likes the athletic ability, I'm sure. I like the athletic ability too. I have not gone back and really looked at him this year. I'll be honest with you. With Clemson falling off, I haven't really looked at him. That's interesting. I'm excited to go back and look at that now.
And the last thing for today, I've got pages. I told you, pages upon pages. But the last thing I want to share today is the South Carolina cornerback. I don't know if I brought this up. Brandon Cisse, is that right?
Yeah, I'm seeing that name a lot.
He's coming out. A lot of buzz. Scout I talked to told me to go back and watch this guy. I did 2 games basically on like the key plays. Yeah, he might be cornerback 1.
Interesting. Especially considering Jermon McCoy hasn't played this year.
And that's going to be the tough one because there's a lot of love for McCoy for Tennessee. Avion Terrell, who I thought was like a late first fringe guy, but more of a slot corner. He's had a really good year. I
don't love him as much. Interesting. I haven't loved him as much this year.
I have not watched enough of his tape to say whether he's risen over my grade in the preseason. But I thought he was more of like that top 40 guy. Feel good about it, but not like cool with him not being in the top 25.
Right.
So Cisse's a name. I'm told he's coming out. He's the NC State transfer. And I watched limited, but enough to be like, oh yeah, this guy's.
He's a good sized kid, right? He's got decent size. Yeah.
And he's smooth and he moves well and he can press. I think he's a good player. So those are some names, just some stuff I wanted to,
just planting some seeds. I like it.
Planting some seeds.
Never a bad deal.
And that comes off the heels of last week's rough draft when I told you Mendoza's probably could be coming out, but there's some interesting stuff on him. Carson Beck is liked by some scouts a little bit more than you would think, considering the 2 losses and the backlash of those losses and the interceptions and all that. Dante Moore's going back to school. Sellers needs to return, and there's a feeling he could return, but it might not be to Columbia, South Carolina. We'll see how that plays out. I couldn't have more respect for that operation and the people running it. And if anything, let's call this a public service announcement to like, hey, people, there's some sharks in the water and they're coming after your boy. And so maybe that will help them understand that they're going to have to pony up and get some things in place, offensive coordinator system. What's best for Sellers as they make a sales pitch for him to stay and not become the next Miami quarterback that comes out of somewhere else and goes on and has a great year and becomes a high draft pick. I just mentioned Carson Beck is one of them from Georgia. Cam Ward, obviously from Washington State, and Incarnate Word from before. So there's a lot of stuff going on. And the wide receiver class is as hot in NFL scouting circles as people think. There's just a lot of differing opinions. Some like Carnell Tate first, some like Jordyn Tyson first, some like Makai Lemon first. So
that's wild to me. I really like
that's Concepcion, all the buzz we've been giving him, all the love we've been giving him, I'm told like don't stop. Yeah, not that it matters. Like we like who we like, and Deion Burks is liked a lot. I could see him as a 2nd-round pick. Zachariah Branch is getting some love, the Georgia wide receiver. So we're just seeing a lot more talent in that receiver class this year than we expected to have at this point in the season, which is great.
Interesting.
I want to get to our FanDuel picks of the week before we come right back to the NFL draft.
Let's hit it.
We're zagging while everyone's zigging. Everyone's reacting to the college football rankings that, it gave us some small insights, but like, let's face it, the first one, the one before the championship games, and the final ones are the ones we're going to do reaction shows and really put emphasis on. A lot of people are doing previews of all the big games and all that stuff. But there's only so much time you have in your week. Our value, we believe, in the middle of the week is to provide you with updated draft information that also pertains to what's going on in college football. But it doesn't mean we're not keeping a close eye on all this stuff. And it doesn't mean that my mensch isn't on a 2-week run and looking to make it 3 weeks of nailing his FanDuel pick of the week. Doesn't mean that I've hit like 9 of my last 11 FanDuel picks of the week, including 2 last week. Doesn't mean I haven't hit two 4-leg parlays in the last 6 weeks and had another one last week. If FanDuel, well, I love you and we appreciate our partnership and you keep the lights on and couldn't think of a better partner to have in all this. And you give me the Todd's odds and everything that we have in the FD Sportsbook app is just like this perfect partnership for who we are and what we're doing.
It's awesome.
It is awesome. But they told me I had to do a total yards last week and I choked on it. And if had I put in the pick I wanted with LSU with the points, I cover, and we hit. That's now 3 in 6 weeks and 2 in a row. Anyway,
no accountability on your end. No accountability on your end.
Absolutely none.
I love
it. What's your FanDuel pick?
So listen, last week I told you Oregon was on upset alert. Watch out, Oregon. Iowa's going to be a tough out. They're going to cover. Iowa covers. This week I told you Notre Dame, watch out for this Pitt team, man. Tough run defense. They got a young freshman quarterback who just doesn't care. Playing like he doesn't care. House money. You got to watch out Notre Dame. I thought about it. I sat with it. Notre Dame covers. I got Notre Dame covering 11.5-point spread. I think Notre Dame covers. I think Marcus Freeman's got the boys ready. I think he's hearing all the noise. I think they go into Pitt and they take care of business. I just think Pitt's been really good against subpar teams. I think Notre Dame's going to be a big jump for them. And I think the boys take care of business.
I totally get it. And I'm starting to see you start to learn there are two different brains, the football brain and the money winning business brain. And I'm proud of you, kiddo. I'm proud of you.
You with me? You like it?
I actually do. Do. And I think freshman quarterback, game day, all the it's just going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. I've struggled with Missouri this year. This time I'm picking against them. I respect their team. I respect their defense a ton. But they've not been the same unit without Bo Prabula at quarterback. And now you got Mississippi State coming in, kind of left for dead. Talked about it against Georgia, though. I watched that tape. I saw some good things from Mississippi State. They're not a great football team. They're not a bad football team. They're a solid to good football team. And they're hungry for a win. They're hungry to get something from all this hard work and the fact that they're still dialed in. They're still playing with the effort that I saw on both sides of the ball. They had a really bad quarter and a half against Georgia. They finished really strong in that game. I think that they're going to keep it close at Missouri. I like Mississippi State as my FanDuel pick of the week.
Interesting.
+7 in that game against Missouri. I feel good about this one. Feel good.
All right, we'll see.
All right.
You've never felt bad about any of them.
No, but I feel better about last week. I didn't feel good. I was worried. I didn't like that Wake Forest outright. Penn State, am I sure? Outright or almost outright.
The Wake hit.
Outright, yeah. So anyway, all right. We've decided instead of doing a flash mock and it being a scrambled mess and us running around and
which we will do. We will have a mess where we're scrambling around.
But when we do a flash mock, it's gonna be organic.
Right.
And when it's organic, it can kind of be a mess of a show. And since we're only 5-6 weeks into this rough draft thing, I kind of didn't want to have a mess of a show yet. So Mensch and I decided to do this. Mensch just got his training wheels off. He's got his name all over ESPN.
Dude, I'm nervous.
Now.
I'm not used to this.
Steve Mensch rankings. It's not the scouts. He's a big deal. He's got his own mock now. He's got his own mock now, folks.
Here we go.
We're not going to do a full mock draft. That would be exhausting to do 2 dueling mock drafts. What we are going to do, because there are some interesting teams. You've got the Browns with 2 first-round picks, the Jets with 2 first-round picks, the Rams with 2 first-round picks, and we're not going to have all the quarterbacks in this. That's the only restriction I put on it. Mensch can make as many or as few trades as he wants, and I can do the same. We're going to go through the first 12 picks and let it be based off of our individual separate rankings. Same draft order, and we'll go through it. The difference is, or the only restriction I put on both of us is if I'm getting all this information and every time I look up at a mock draft or people projecting and all this stuff, I'm trying to tell people Dante Moore's going back to school. No one's listening apparently because every freaking mock draft I see has Dante Moore in it. I'm trying to tell people Lenore Sellers is about to be a free agent. Sometimes free agents go back home, get a payday. Sometimes free agents take the money that's out there. But Lenore Sellers also is not developed, and scouts are saying he needs another year and could really use a different voice in his ear, whether that's a new coordinator at South Carolina or it's somewhere else. And so we're not allowing Dante Moore or Lenore Sellers. In fact, they will not be in my rankings or Steve's ranking. Well, I can't speak for Steve. They will not be in my rankings.
They are in my rankings, but I agree with the point you're making here.
Until otherwise notified. So they are removed, as was Arch back last May. Okay.
I respect it, man. I do.
So if we know what we know and we feel good about the information that we have, let's go with it and not just swim upstream for no reason because it's cute and it's a big name and it might get a couple more clicks. All right, let me give everyone the top 5 picks, and then we can follow with each pick as we unveil them, right? Number 1 would be Tennessee as of today. Number 2, the New Orleans Saints, followed by the New York Giants at 3, Cleveland Browns at 4, and the New York Jets at 5. A lot of quarterback-needy teams there, and maybe not enough quarterbacks for them. So no further ado, Mensch. Tennessee's on the clock. Who are you taking?
We got to trade right out of the gate. I'm not messing around. Right out of the gate.
Mensch's first mock.
Why? Yeah, I'm not. My first mock, first pick, trade. Why would Jets general manager Darren Muji go out and get all those picks? Darren Muji's calling Mike Borgonzi in Tennessee and saying, "Don't you dare make a deal with Andrew Berry in Cleveland before you talk to me. I've got all this firepower. We got to figure out how to get something done." They do. Jets move up the first. So who are they taking? Ty Simpson's the top quarterback on my board. They're taking Fernando Mendoza from Indiana. I think that's a better fit for what they do. I look at that Detroit background with Aaron Glenn and Tanner Engstrand, the offense coordinator. I see more of a Goff comp with Mendoza. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't think everyone's going to agree with me on that. But I see a little more of a Goff comp with Mendoza than I do with Simpson. So Jets trade up. They use some of these picks that they've got. I think it would take at least their first and next year's first, but they have a million of them at this point, plus something else, but they get it done. Cleveland, I think Cleveland would love to do it, but they don't have the picks to go up there and get the guy that they want. If they wanted Mendoza and wanted to fight the Jets on this, they don't quite have the same firepower. No one does. No one has what the Jets have. So I'm going Mendoza number 1 to the Jets.
I think the 2027 quarterback class looming over this draft is going to be a big topic of conversation. And I think it's going to devalue some of those picks and the moves.
Interesting. You think guys are going to wait? You think they're going to be okay waiting?
I think it's going to be, I can have Mendoza and listen, I'm about to make a trade, but not with this pick. Let me just get to my pick. I'm getting the sense by the time April rolls around, There could be people throughout the NFL, and most importantly in that Tennessee organization, that look at Arvell Reese as the next Micah Parsons.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not built identically the same. They don't have the same exact background in terms of how much edge and this and all that. But Micah was an off-ball linebacker that moved to edge and became one of the best to do it in a long time. Mm-hmm. And remains that with the Green Bay Packers after being traded from Dallas. And had you crystal balled it, Micah Parsons, I don't remember that exact draft, but if he would have been the first non-quarterback selected in that draft, given what we know about him right now.
Yep.
And I don't remember that draft or which quarterback was taken 1 overall, but he might have been the number 1 overall pick. Okay. So I'm going to hang on right now before I have Tennessee moving off this spot because it might be a special player that they're looking at. And I don't know that the market's going to be as, I know there's going to be multiple teams looking to trade up, but I think Arvell Reese gives them what they're looking for. An identity, a difference maker, a leader, and someone who could become one of the stars in the NFL.
That's my note, by the way. They have to consider Reese here, and they will consider Reese. The Jets will give them such a haul that they'll move back. Okay. So I get it.
No,
I'm with you.
I hear you. All right, so number 2, then I'm going to have my first trade.
Okay,
I give you all that talk about 2027 looming, but I look at this, and for each organization, there's different reasoning, right? And if we're sitting here right now and New Orleans has the number 2 overall pick, am I saying Tyler Shuck? Yeah, I have an affinity for Tyler Shuck. I'm pulling for the guy I just think he's what it's all about. I love what he had to battle through and all of that. I've seen the negatives this year as a rookie, but I'm starting to see more positives. And I'm not saying, one start and a win over Carolina says that he's the guy. I'm not doing that. But I am saying organizationally, 2 things have to be factored in. One is Shuck is showing promise. Maybe we don't have to use this kind of draft pick on another quarterback after drafting him in the 2nd round last year. But we won't know until after another full year. And it just so happens maybe the best class in the history of the NFL draft at the quarterback position is staring us right in the face in 2027. So let's just hold on a year. We get an offer to move out of number 2. Let's do it. Move back a few spots to number 5. The New York Jets then come up and get their guy. And same reasoning as you. Yep. They have more picks than the Rams sitting back there at 10. They have more picks than the Browns to work within a 2-year span. Okay? And I think that they say, keep the other one this year. We want one of those ones next year. And so they move back and they protect themselves in case Shuck is not the guy. So Jets move up to number 2. And I agree with you here. Ty Simpson's my guy. And I may have come on earlier than everybody else on Mendoza, and I still really like him. But I'm taking Simpson over Mendoza, given what I know. But
You're taking Mendoza over Simpson, or
I'm taking Simpson over Mendoza. The Jets with this pick at number 2, after Tennessee takes Arvell Reese in my mock top 12. The Jets are taking Fernando Mendoza from Indiana because of a lot of the things you said. And by the way, if this organization decided on Justin Fields to be their guy, they're probably going to want this kind of guy with his mobility over what Simpson provides. And I think the Goff thing we can debate later. I don't know about going that far, but I do get this. I could see a world in which the Jets took Mendoza over Simpson. It's not about what I like. It's about projecting what teams would do. The McShay Show is brought to you by FanDuel. Ready to fire up your Saturdays? FanDuel's got a boost you don't want to miss. It's called Boostin' with the Boys, and it's giving everyone a college football profit boost every single week. So here's how it works. Each week, we're giving everyone a profit boost to use on college football. No invite-only nonsense. Everyone gets the boost. We're talking real games, real teams, real Saturdays, with an extra payout on the line. It's easy, it's fun, and it's only on FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com/McShay to download the app and get in on the action. Must be 21 and older and present in select states, or 18 and older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. This episode is brought to you by Remitly Business. Meet Remitly Business, the simple way to pay international contractors or vendors, letting them choose how they get paid, bank, wallet, or cash. Send in minutes using your existing account with no bank visits, no cutoff times, and no waiting for Monday. Plus, enjoy transparent pricing and lower fees than traditional bank wires. Visit Remitly.com or download the Remitly app to get started. Delivery options vary by recipient location. So I've got Mendoza 2. Who do you have going at number 2? Who's picking there for you, first of all?
It's the Saints. It's still the Saints.
They're staying home. Okay.
Yep. Arvell Reese. Okay. I think of Arvell Reese and Brandon Staley's system, the defense coordinator for the Saints. It's unbelievable. You just think about like Leonard Floyd, the way he played in that system when he wasn't even in his prime anymore. Leonard Floyd just blossomed in that system. I think Arvell Reese would be a perfect fit for what they do. And I do think that even if you are the Saints and you're saying to yourself, I'm not really sold on Tyler Shuck, he at least buys you that another year. Justin Fields isn't going to buy you another year in New York, man. I think you've got to make a move there. You've got to bring a quarterback in. If you're the Saints, Tyler Shuck's, flashed a little bit. He's still a rookie. You could say, like, we're going to give this one more year to see what happens, and it lets you buy some time to go into that next class the year after. To me, it makes too much sense to get Arvell Reese in terms of value, fit, need, all of it. It comes together. And I'm with you, by the way. Even in this scheme, I think Arvell Reese is going to be an edge. I think that's really what his future is.
I don't disagree. I like that pick. So you've got quarterback going 1 in a trade. You've got Reese going 2 to the Saints. And that trade would be the Jets taking Mendoza.
Right.
Now you're up to pick 3, the New York Giants. What are you taking?
Utah offensive tackle Spencer Fano. I think this is a little early. It feels a little early for me. And if they could move back a little bit and still get him, I would like that. But you have Andrew Thomas is one of the best left tackles. He's one of the best overall tackles in the league. But then you go over there to the right side, and you've got Jermaine Illuminor, and you've got Marcus Bow. Jermaine Illuminor is the veteran who's on the backside, who I think they could have an upgrade over. And I think Marcus Bow is going to be a better fit at guard than he is at offensive tackle. He was the 5th-round pick out of Purdue last year. I don't think he's shown enough. You have a quarterback now that has had some problems staying healthy, but is talented. Let's shore up that offensive line. Let's keep him as healthy as possible. Go get your starting right tackle. You have potential bookend offensive tackles that could be elite in this league.
All right. I like it. I actually like it. And we saw how fast those offensive tackles came off the board last year, and I don't think it's a trend that will go away anytime soon. I'm actually at number 3. I'm going to make my second trade of my mock top 12. I'm going to have Cleveland rolling in here, moving up just 1 spot. And you say, why? Well, because now it's a fair fight. It's a hatchet fight. Because the Jets, with all their picks in this year and next year, have already moved up. Now it's Cleveland versus the Rams. And I got news for you. With Dante Moore going back to school, with Lenore Sellers going back to school, there's only one other quarterback, and that's Ty Simpson. And so Cleveland's not going to sit back at 4 and get, I'm not allowed to swear there, get stuck at 2, get it stuck to. So they're going to be aggressive and make sure that they get their guy. The Giants are like, yeah, I'll move back a spot. Give me a little compensation.
They would love to do that. I like that scenario.
And in your scenario, that may have worked as well. So anyway, in this, we got the flip-flop here, and I've got Ty Simpson going to Cleveland. It'd be very interesting to see what organizationally is going on there in the offseason, right?
Yeah.
Certainly would fit the current regime. Let's see how that plays out. And then the Giants at 4. This is a reach. I'm going to live with it.
I love it.
But I truly believe the Giants could need a wide receiver.
They do. They absolutely do.
And I don't dislike your pick of the offensive tackle, Fano, from Utah. But I'm going to go with Jordyn Tyson. And I think the Giants, what happened is they realized how great of a receiver Malik Neighbors was.
Yep.
But they didn't quite realize, because he masked so many other weaknesses and kind of took so much attention away, didn't realize how big of a deficit there was after that number 1 spot and the lack of depth that they have at that position. I think a sturdy, thick, physical, run after catch ability guy in Tyson would be a really good complement to Neighbors and for Jackson Dart moving forward. So, and then you bring the Arizona State connection with Cam Scadaboo, hopefully coming back at 100% next year. That would be fun to watch as well.
Did you see? I shouldn't, but I have to. Did you see the Cam Scadaboo thing about tacos?
No.
Are you the alpha with the taco, McShay, or is the taco the alpha with you? And what he asked was, do you turn your head to eat the taco, or do you turn the taco when you eat it? So if you turn your head, the taco's the alpha. If you turn the taco, you're the alpha. I don't even know what these kids think about anymore. I don't even like to get it into your mouth.
Well,
It's
and there's
amazing.
also the sexual innuendo there that I'm going to stay away from. So, all right, who do you got for
I
number?
didn't even see it like that. I'm just an innocent guy. I don't do
No,
it
I
that
know
way.
you are. I know you are. But I've got teenagers and pre-teenagers running around this house. One of them wanted to dress up as a pink taco 2 years ago. They're like 13 years old, and we had to put the kibosh on that.
So now I'm at the to get it back on the rails. I'm at the Browns picking 4, and I'm taking Ty Simpson there too. I think Stefanski. I mean, he showed he doesn't need that big-bodied quarterback. He wants a cerebral guy. I think Simpson is the best quarterback in this class, and I think he's the best fit for Stefanski. I just wish that I had the forethought or the genius that you had to make that trade. The Giants and Cleveland just swap to make sure that Cleveland gets their guy, no one jumps in front of them, and then the Giants get the tackle at 4, which is probably a little bit of a better value, and they pick something up in exchange too. So yeah, I mean, it's very similar. I've got Cleveland taking Simpson.
Okay, all right, so that works out, and we'll have a graphic at the end where everyone can look. And I know it probably feels a little complicated, but let's just go through it. Let's have fun, give us some information, and then you'll be able to see it, and then we'll put it out on social media, and everyone can get caught up. All right, number 5. So 5th pick now. For you, it is the
Tennessee.
Jets moved to Tennessee. So who does Tennessee take after moving back from 1 to 5?
This goes back to the opening, man, and I really struggled. There are 3. I think they go edge here because they didn't get Arvell Reese, and I think that's why Arvell Reese makes sense. They need an edge. I think they go edge. I have 3 guys right there. Rueben Bain Jr. from Miami, who you talked about. By the way, Keldric Faulk, talented edge from Auburn, only has 2 sacks this year. If we're going to have the production talk, it's going to have to be with Faulk as well. And then David Bailey. I look at the way that defense is built now, and I actually like David Bailey from Texas Tech, but there's too much volatility there. I don't know what it's really going to look like. It'll be interesting to see when the dust settles what they're going to do in terms of building that defense. I trusted the board. I went with Rueben Bain Jr. I don't know if I feel 100% great about it. I could see Bailey passing him. I could see Faulk passing him, but I'm trusting my board right now. I'm going Rueben Bain Jr.
Okay, I had New Orleans trading back to this spot at 5 from number 2 with the New York Jets moving up from Mendoza. Here are the Saints, and I talked about all the reasons why they were willing to trade back. But to me, as I mentioned before, there's going to be a great debate. And it's kind of what you're looking for. Keldric Faulk is built almost like a 3 technique.
Yep.
Bain is a power left defensive end type, but not the tallest guy. But can he become a better pass rusher than the sack production shows this year? And then you've got David Bailey, Stanford, transferred to Texas Tech, monster season, leading the FBS in sacks. And the tape is as beautiful as the sack production looks on paper. I'm going with Faulk here for New Orleans.
Interesting.
Because it kind of feels like he could be the next Cam Jordyn, a big physical. And I know it's a new coaching regime. It's the same scouting regime, right? And so I could see them going with Faulk here at 5. Here's what I want to do. I want to go 6 through 9. You read yours, because I don't think we have any trades in this range, right?
No, give me 6 through 9 though.
So it's going to be Las Vegas at 6.
Yeah.
Miami at 7.
Yeah.
Washington at 8 and Cincinnati at 9. I'll go first to give you time because I know you had to regroup. The draft orders are all over the place and they just switched and different sites have different things. I'll go first for you, okay? So at 6, I went with Clemson defensive tackle Peter Woods, okay? And the Raiders' run defense, I don't know if anyone's been checked into the NFL and studying the Raiders and their run defense. It's been flat out atrocious recently. They could go edge opposite Max Crosby, and I wouldn't rule that out. I think it's going to be on the defensive side. That unit needs help.
Agreed.
Crosby needs help. So it could be a David Bailey here. It could be a Rueben Bain here. I went with Woods because I think they've got to shore up the middle of that defense, and they've got to be able to stop the run more effectively. Then I went in Miami. I went with your boy Fano, Spencer Fano.
Like that.
Miami, I mean, it's a no-brainer, right? It's a new general manager coming in, got to handle some of the old problems. The old problems were offensive line. They decided to go with Kenneth Grant at defensive tackle last year instead of drafting an offensive lineman, and they only drafted one offensive lineman. It was in the second round, Arizona tackle guard, and but they only drafted one offensive lineman the entire draft. And so they're going to have to address that position. And Fano is a right tackle by trade and a very athletic one, and you still have Tua Tagovailoa as a southpaw. So now all of a sudden, a right tackle is protecting his blind side. Love that fit. Then I've got
that as well. Yeah,
Rueben Bain coming off the board at number 8 to Washington. Von Miller obviously nearing the end. They need more of a presence on the edge. Then Caleb Downs, arguably the best football player in this draft. But I got news for you. He's not going to work out at the combine like Eamon Warry did last year for South Carolina. He's having a fantastic. That's your guy. And I'm going to have to apologize for years to come on Nick Eamon Warry if this shit keeps up.
Love it.
But I think the Bengals just need help on all 3 levels of the defense, and they actually safety is a position they could upgrade. And I think Caleb Downs, call it falling to 9, whatever you want. He's a safety. He's not going to go as high as he should, but 9 would be a good spot for him. So what do you got, Mench?
It's hard to find him a home, but I'm going to go with
him and Jeremiah Love are the 2 hardest ones.
100%, man. I was like, where am I getting these guys in? Okay. But I'll start with the Raiders at 6. I want Keldric Faulk. You mentioned it. I think they could go on edge opposite Max Crosby. I think it's going to be Keldric Faulk. I think that'll help their run defense. I think that'll help their pass rush. I think that's the pick for them there. Miami at 7, similar thought, but Fano's off the board for me. So I went Francis Maui-Noa from Miami. And my thinking is Austin Jackson, the right tackle for the Dolphins, has had a hard time staying healthy. I'm not sure you can really count on him to be your starting right tackle, and he's a free agent after next year. But even if Jackson comes back and he's good there, they need help at guard. And we talked about it. Maui-Noa might be an all-pro guard if he's not all-pro offensive tackle. To me, that's a safe, good pick for them where they build that offensive line. So I'm going Maui-Noa there. For the Commanders, I got 4 edges in my top 9. I got 4 coming off in the top 7 picks in this draft. I got David Bailey, Texas Tech, going to the Commanders. I think he's too good to last. They need to get younger. They need to get more explosive in the pass rush. They go out and they get David Bailey. And then for the Bengals, do you know what the Bengals run defense numbers are right now? They're giving up 426.6 yards per game in rushing yards. That's insane. Maybe I've got it wrong.
No,
it sounds crazy to me.
No,
I must have it wrong.
Maybe it's total.
Take it out if I got it wrong, Tucker. But it's bad. They're worse. I can tell you this. They're worse than the league.
Okay, but it doesn't shock me. What did they expect?
I must have that number wrong. But worse than the league, go get Peter Woods from Clemson. He's still on the board.
Tucker, keep it in because
don't keep it in.
You could say 1,000 rushing yards, and I'd be like, I'd have to consider it. It's so bad.
No, this is what I hate because I double check everything, and as soon as that number came out of my mouth, I was like, "There's no way. No, there's no way."
It might be total yards a game, and a big chunk of it is a run game.
They're bad at stopping the run. That's the point.
You made your point. You over at 166.4. But they are last in the league.
That's a typo.
And Tucker, keep that in.
Dude, come on, man. Come on. Anyways,
of all the mistakes I've made, that's peaceful.
That would have been a great number. Bad at stopping the run. Go get Peter Woods from Clemson, the defensive tackle. I think they're bad for a number of reasons. They miss tackles. They could go in a number of different areas. I'm getting a foundational interior defensive lineman to set the tone for them. I think that's Peter Woods from Clemson. And am I caught up?
That's 9. Yep. Okay, so 10, 11, and 12. Originally, it's the Rams in their pick that they traded. They got in a trade last year with the Atlanta Falcons, and the Falcons aren't playing as well as a lot of people thought they might be. And so now that pick's a top 10 pick. I'll go 10, 11, 12 for you here. 10 is the Rams, 11 is Arizona, and 12 is Dallas. I'll round it out here for you, and then you can follow, Mench. The reason why I wanted to stop at 9 is because I've got a trade at 10. We all know what, you don't have to know them personally. We all know what McVay was thinking about. We all know organizationally what they were thinking about, right? And they wanted to get an extra first-round pick thinking, hey, our quarterback's 37 years old. He's awesome. He's absolutely awesome. He was awesome in Detroit, but couldn't win because they sucked around him, brought him here. We won a Super Bowl, and he's still dealing. In fact, you could argue this is his best season. I would argue if the season ended right now in the NFL, Matthew Stafford should be the Heisman. I'm caught up in college. Should be the league MVP, or very like right there in the very, very, very tiny short list.
And I believe in the FanDuel odds, it's him and it's him and Drake May right now. It's their neck and neck.
So you think to yourself, worst case, like he takes a little dip next year, but there's not the urgency to get a quarterback this year to bring him in and have that one final year. He might have 2-3 years left. This guy, he's a lunatic, and he doesn't die like Brady, but he's still doing Brady stuff. Yeah. Drake May and Stafford are tied. Jonathan Taylor
got something right.
+5. Yeah. Finally.
Blind squirrel, right? There we go. Let's go.
All right. So I had the Rams trading out of that spot, and I think Houston could be a team. They're picking at 15 if the draft were today, moving up for Francis Mauioa, the offensive tackle for Miami, who you already talked about. He's a massive.
Is it Mauioa or Maui Noah?
Mauioa. Maui Noah.
Okay.
So Houston's trading up for Francis Maui Noah. The Bengals didn't give up 460 plus yards on the ground, and I'm not pronouncing Maui Noah's name right still, even though I'm getting closer.
I'm so embarrassed.
Houston overhauled the whole offensive line, and it wasn't enough last year. So they've got Nick Caserio and the organization will continue to bring in some pieces to help. And I like that, because then I think what that deal would occur to get. I don't know if it would get you your first. I'd have to look at the compensation, but it would at least get you more ammunition for next year's draft. And maybe with their original pick in the first round, the Rams wind up trading out of that and get more. They're going to try to load up for 2027 is my guess. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that makes sense for them, because they're not in that sweet spot like they thought they might have, but they're still in a good place to prepare for next year. And
this quarterback class doesn't have Arch exploding out of nowhere, and Sellers having an awesome year, and Dante Moore, and Nussmeier, and Klubnik, and it's just not what we thought.
It just hasn't panned out.
So let's push this plan back a year, and it's like the perfect convergence of the 2027 class is now what we thought 2026 might be, but even better. And our quarterback isn't slowing down at all at 37. It's wild. So that happens. Then I finally get Jeremiah Love off the board at Arizona. Obvious reasons. You got Conor, who's got James Conor with the injury. He's been unbelievably durable and productive and had an unbelievable career. And his age at this point, I thought they might draft a running back early last year. Jeremiah Love makes too much sense to Arizona at 11. And then, excuse me. And then David Bailey. I don't think he lasts this long when it's all said and done. But for these purposes, he goes 12 to the Cowboys, losing Micah Parsons. They bring in David Bailey, the best pass rusher, edge rusher, and all-around pass rusher in college football this year.
Interesting that we obviously have a long history together. I always think that we're going to come up with curveballs, and generally it's the same names, different spots, I think. So like, I'm going to go through it right now. For the Rams, I got Caleb Downs coming off the board now. Cam Curl's a free agent. I think the Rams take Caleb Downs there. If they could easily trade out, I get it. But there's Caleb Downs. That's where I think he finds his home. For the Cardinals, I really thought about Jeremiah Love, man. I really did. Ended up going with Jordyn Tyson there because I still have him on the board. So Arizona State wide receiver Jordyn Tyson, I think it'd be a really good compliment to Marvin Harrison. I think they need another wide receiver. That's the route I went. And so I got to the Dallas Cowboys at 12. And I got to tell you, man, I am a monster Javonte Williams fan. And watching what he has done in this comeback year after leaving Denver and kind of looking like maybe the career wasn't going well, I've loved watching Javonte Williams run this year. He's on a 1-year deal. Miles Sanders is on a 1-year deal. And now it wouldn't be surprised me if they extend Williams. I wouldn't surprise me if they figured it out. But even if they do, and by the way, Jaden Blue's a complimentary guy who really hasn't shown enough.
Yep.
Right. Jeremiah Love playing for America's team. Yes, please. Yes, please.
Oh, it'd be awesome.
They got some other decisions to make, though, too. They not only is Javonte Williams a free agent, George Pickens is a free agent too.
Yeah, those are 1-year deals.
Carnell Tate's a name to keep an eye on there. He could be a guy that sneaks in to the top 12.
This is fun, man. I mean, we're in November. Let's not get overly serious. But I feel like honestly, I hope it helped.
Dude,
what?
Your brother-in-law Jeff is going to be like, Mensch, I thought you were a friend of Cincinnati. I thought you were a friend of the city. We're giving up 426 rushing yards now. Brutal.
Yeah,
Brutal.
no, you're right. And he's a huge Bengals fan. He's a huge
course he
Bengals
is.
fan. But it was helpful for me to kind of start putting pieces together and start thinking in this mindset. And if you're a fan of the NFL draft, and you probably are if you're tuning into the show, and we appreciate you for doing it, hopefully you found this to be insightful as well. And for those of you who subscribe to the McShay Report, I appreciate it. And tomorrow I'm going to pet you back a little bit. I'm going 16 picks deep with explanations and a little bit more on the quarterback stuff. So check that out. And if you're not, then maybe now's a good time to get involved as we start to ramp up the draft coverage. So, and Google the McShay Report and subscribe there. Muench, another 5 stars for you, my man. Another 5 stars. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.